Hello and welcome. In this lecture, we are going to create the project. Open up your NetBeans editor. To create a new project, go to File, New Project. Make sure you've got Java selected and Java application. Click Next. Give the project a name. I'm going to call it Number Addition. Deselect this option here to create a main class. We don't want to do that yet, so uncheck that. Click Finish. The next thing we'd like to do is create the front end for the project. We want to build the front end. So from the project here, where you've got the name of the project highlighted, we are going to create a JFrame container. JFrame basically is a Java container, and within that container is where we will place the other required components for our application. We will also place the container in a new package that will appear within the source package node. This is the source package node. So let's begin. You right click on this node here where it's called Number Addition. Click New, click Other, select Swing GUI Forms. Make sure you've got that selected. And for the file type, select JFrame Form and click Next. Let's change the name of the class name. For the class name, I'm going to enter Number Addition. I've changed the name. I've called it Add Numbers. And here where we've got package, we also need to enter a name for the package. For the package, I'm going to I'll enter my addition. All right, so that's what I'm going to enter for my package name and click Finish. And it will create a form and with the class as well. So this is a design view for the form. So if I click on this class view here, you should see this is a package. It's generated a package called My Additions. It's also created a class called Add Numbers. Okay. And if I scroll down, it's also created a main class here for me as well. Let's go back to the design view. And in the design view here, we've got a palette. From the palette, you can drag items onto the form. First thing I want to do is add a panel, and within that panel, we'll add other components. So within the palette here, I just grab the panel and just drag it. And you can resize it as well via these squares here. So I just drag and drag it down. So you can actually tell which is the active component because it's got this orange line around it. So you can see here that this area here is the properties for this J panel, this panel here. Okay, so if I click outside of it, then this here is actually, this is the form, this is the JFrame, but if I click inside, it gives me the panel. So inside the panel is where we're going to add some other components. So let's start designing the form. I'm going to look for a text field. I want to add a couple of text fields. So got a text field here. I just drag that onto the form, onto the panel, and just resize it. That's the first text field. Just drag it there. I want to add another. I'll just drag another there. Okay, and just expand that a bit. Next, I want to add a couple of buttons. So I look for a button. Yep, that's a button. Just drag that there and drag another one over. Okay. And I want some labels. I want labels here to label the various components. So let's look for a label here. If we can find one. It should be, yeah, there you go. That's label. So I drag label there, drag, we'll rename all this later, and drag. I want to actually add, I will delete this. Sorry, I'm going to delete this label, and I want to add another text field. So I'm going to add another text field. I'm just going to drag this along. I'll add it on top. Add the text field there and drag another label on top, and I will rename all this soon. I want to give the form a name, so I've clicked on it. You can see the orange line around it. That means I've got the form open. You can tell here this is a form because it's got JFrame next to it. So let's look for, there should be something here that relates to the title. There you go. So I'm going to give the form a title. I'm just going to type the title additions. Add, I'll just say add numbers and press enter, and that will give the form a title. Let's quickly run this application so we see what it looks like at the moment, and click run. When you run the application for the first time, it will give you this option asking you to select the main class. There's only one class in there, so we click OK to accept that, and it will go ahead and build the application. All right, so this is what our form looks like at the moment. So that's the title there. Good. So we've got a title called add numbers. So we're going to modify all this, change the components and the properties in the next lecture. So I'm gonna end this lecture here, and in the next lecture we'll rename some of these components and modify some of the properties. So that is it for this lecture. Thanks for watching.